You've kind of talked about this in different presentations. It's like really honing in on specifically what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you'll end up with whatever. And sometimes just by describing what you want, what you're actually like, just do it on a piece of paper and pen, and you'll start to notice what your expectations are. You know, and my vision for you is to be able to approach women who are exactly what you want them to be. So you can wake up one day, you're with a really attractive women next to you, and you can say, man, after all these years of not being able to approach women, not being able to keep conversations, not even be able to follow up with these girls and have more dates, you can see like, oh, I made that happen, and I was able to approach sexy women. Now I have one right here in my bed.
Yeah.
So I want that for you. I want you to be able to make that happen for yourself. And any guy, it doesn't matter if you're short, fat, bald, you're older, doesn't really matter. If you master these qualities, if you start to express yourself more, if you start to use these communication and these skills, you'll be able to make it happen.
It's good stuff. Yeah.
Mm.
One of my things that I'm really into is handling logistics. And I'm not talking about the simple logistics just of knowing who your target is, where she's going to be at, and what time she's going to be there. I'd say that those are, for me, the most important things. But even beyond that, the fact of having a condom with you and just being ready. A certain thing that I do every time before I go out is make sure that there is a condom in my pocket or in my wallet. And I like to always make sure that I have at least 2 condoms on my person. One for me, one for my wingman in case he forgot it. That's something that I expect from my wings because they expect it from me. There is a time that a friend of mine, we opened a 2-set. Hot girl, fat girl. I was isolating the fat girl. I helped him build attraction, AI'd him, DHV'd. We knew that he was going to have sex with this girl within, I would say, any minute. And she was just ready to go. She was on vacation. She was here to have fun. He turns around and he gives me this look like, and I knew he didn't have his condom. So I always keep mine in my left front pocket. Pull it out. He's walking arm in arm with this girl. I slipped it right in his back pocket. He gives me that wink like, oh, you read my mind. And a few minutes later, got back to his house. Actually locked his keys in the house. So I gave him a boost up into his house. I gave the girl a boost through the window. He just closed the window. I was like, peace. I was gone. 20 minutes later, I got a text. He's like, well, I won't say what the text is, but you get the idea. So always be prepared. I take this so far that I actually like to keep an extra box of condoms just in my car.
I saw that. Yeah.
In the door, in the center console, in the trunk, in my survival kit. Just in case. I also keep a kit that has everything I need in case, I meet a beautiful woman and I have to take her somewhere. And a couple other places, I like to hide them in the couch cushions in case things get hot and heavy downstairs. You bring her in your house, you watch a movie, and you start making out. Things get where you want it to go. It's right there. You can pull it out. Also underneath my bed. If you lift up the mattress, they're right there. So always be prepared, guys.
Yeah, it's funny that we were driving over to the mall and you had I saw the condoms right there, like the little box of condoms, and I heard that there was like a statistic that 80% of couples or something like that in America had their first sexual experience in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that's interesting.
Definitely. I've been in situations where just for logistical purposes, I couldn't bring my target back to my house, and she had stuff at her house. I had a roommate at the time. She had roommates, or her parents were in town. She was just out. The only place to go was the car in the parking lot. So I also like to park in specific places, specifically if I'm gaming at Town Square. Now, if you notice, if you park out on the outside parking lot, you have cameras on you. If you park upstairs on the roof, you have cameras. And the mobile unit with the security guard, he actually circles around the property just to see if things go to that level. And they're technically, you get a public indecency violation for that. But there are specific spots to park on that property where there's no guard, no camera. And that's where I park my car every time I'm going to Blue Martini, the Sanctuary, even just to the strip mall out there, where it's very easy to meet a woman and take her for an instant date, either to the Starbucks or the Coffee Bean right there, to get a quick bite to eat at Whole Foods, and just take her back to the car. I want to show you these CDs that I made, or any of the other routines that I use. It helps.
Okay. Yeah, so it's always good to have the end in mind. So you kind of backwards engineering. So like, okay, where am I gonna, have sex with her? Where specifically? So like, okay, here in this place. So how do I have to kind of structure everything ahead of time? So we're gonna walk through here. What do I need to step by step so I can know what things need to happen in place to make that happen? So to make it inevitable almost.
And it was something I really discovered from bringing girls home from the club, and this is what really hit me as like, this is a much deeper level of game. But when these girls come from out of town, they're drunk, they want to party, they want ecstasy, they just want a good time. But the transition from the club to the cab, for the car, and then from the cab or car to your door, and then from your door to your living room, all these little transitions need to be done smooth. And if you get in the car and there's no music playing, then the mood dies. And since they're drunk, you guys that live out in Henderson or Summerlin are going to have a big issue with this, because they're going to be falling asleep by the time they get down the freeway. And when they wake up disoriented and they look around and say, I don't know where I am. Once the buildings from the strip disappear, the women, their comfort levels they drop. And I found that living closer to the strip, you'll have a lot better chance of keeping the vibe. And one thing I especially like to do before I leave the house, after I get the condom and I'm dressed up and I'm ready to go, I make sure I leave the TV on like a BET channel, or I turn the sound on the TV, and then I turn up the radio so that I have a music mix that will loop in my stereo, so the vibe is still there when I get in. And I have alcohol on the counter so I don't have to dig through in case I need to make a glass. Usually what I like to do is just pull them straight in the door, close the door, take them by the hand, and just go straight to the bedroom. No watching a movie, looking at photo albums. If I'm at her house, I will usually walk into her room, and she'll immediately ask, do you want a drink? And I'll just say, I don't drink, nothing right now. And I'll say, which one's your room? And she'll point, and I'll walk right through her house into her bedroom, and I'll sit on the bed. And then she'll peek in and go, what's going on? And then it's just kind of like,